So now we're going to go into complex fractions. Complex fractions aren't quite as scary as they sound. A complex fraction is a fraction inside of another fraction. So that can seem kind of complex, but we have some really simple rules that are going to help us with it. So to simplify this, we're going to simplify the numerator and the denominator separately. That means factor, that means combine like terms, any operation you can do to get them in simpler terms. Then you're going to complete the division by taking that numerator and multiplying by the reciprocal of the denominator. And then you're going to simplify. So what is that going to look like? Here I have a fraction and a fraction. So this top fraction is my numerator. This bottom fraction is my denominator. So I can't do anything to simplify it right now, but I'm going to write it this time like a division statement. Then I'm going to flip it, complete the multiplication, and cancel where I can. So I would cancel out the y's. So this really isn't anything different than what we learned in the first lecture video for this week on how to divide rational expressions. So here, this isn't quite a complex fraction I can work with yet. I need to get one fraction at the top, one fraction at the bottom. So I'm going to have to get a common denominator and combine them so that I have one fraction at the top, one fraction at the bottom. I'm going to take that bottom fraction, I'm going to flip it, and then I'm going to multiply. And when I do that, I can cancel any factors they have in common to get the final answer. Now, how am I going to do that with multiplying by common denominator? This is a second method. I'm actually going to skip over these slides because I don't recommend using this method. So now let's compare the two methods. I'm only going to compare method 1. So method 1 is where I rewrite this as a numerator and a denominator fraction. I'm going to write the division. I'm going to flip it, cancel, simplify. Okay? Not showing you method 2. We want you to only follow method 1. Method 1, it's got to be a fraction. Get a common denominator in the top and the bottom. Write them as one fraction. Rewrite it as division. Flip it, cancel what I can. So here's what all I can cancel. Simplify what's left. We're not looking at method 2. Blinders on. Now, how do we work with negative exponents? It's a little bit trickier. When we have negative exponents, we have to drop them down to the denominator and then get our common denominators. Then we're going to combine it into one fraction so that we can rewrite it. We can rewrite this as a division statement if needed. We could also cancel the fractions, which is what they did here, by multiplying the top and the bottom to clear it out to get rid of that. Either way would work. So we're going to drop them down to the bottom. We're going to be able to say that's our common denominator. We're going to get them into one fraction, write it as division, flip it, cancel, simplify. Okay? So we're going to write it as one fraction. Then we're going to flip it, cancel, simplify.